Alright, that 2-week layoff fucking sucked, people. So glad to be back breaking this one down. Not the best card in the world, but there were a few fun ones. Let's get into it. Like, subscribe, comment, Twitter. Come on, fuck the Apex. Alright, the less said about this one, the better. It was painful to watch. I did pick Grishin. He had a few moments with elbows breaking from the clinch, but otherwise he allowed himself to be controlled against the fence for really large parts of the fight. Linz had the clear strength advantage and was just quicker to the punch. I figured Grishin would have crisper stand-up and spam leg kicks all evening. He does not and did not. Not exactly a shock result though. Close fight on paper. Stunk the joint out. Nice win for Linz. He had a game plan and he stuck to it. Alright, I fumbled this one pretty badly. Lacerda is horrible. Cut that man. He looks sloppy, winging shots like a... I was going to say a downy, but that might be going a little bit too deep. He basically looked like he didn't belong in there whatsoever. He committed to rolling around on the ground like he had seen Kron Gracie's performance and was somehow inspired by it. Baffling tactics. He completely gassed himself out by the midpoint in the first, and it looked academic at that point. Nice win for Blackshear. He's not bad. He worked the jab well and was very competent on the ground. Alright, I gave this the detailed 7 breakdown it deserved in my fight breakdown. 6 seconds too long. I picked this one to go to a decision. Frey basically controlled Reed with takedowns but did very little with them, and Reed did very little to earn a win either, but somehow got the nod by being more active on bottom, I guess. She seemed really shocked by the decision too. Hard to call this a robbery when they both did fuck all. I reckon Frey's going to be cut. Reed isn't doing shit in what I consider the most skilled women's division in the UFC, for whatever that's worth. Zhang would win a handicap match against these two. Embarrassing skill level. Alright, Mullarkey should have won the lottery with this one, or so we thought. Was about to get sacrificed to Kuta Teledzi and went from the dog of the card to the biggest betting favourite. Easy money, right? Wrong. I said this man was a garbage bag, and he did not prove me wrong. Naimov, while losing the majority of the fight, didn't really look hurt at any moment and stayed composed throughout. At this level, fuck around and you get found out, and Mullarkey clearly didn't respect this man. He got caught with a filthy check right while bombing in like a spastic in a second. Now, Tajikistan are fucking MMA psychos, so for a small nation, it's absolutely fantastic. I got hard abuse for picking this man. Really, I picked against Mullarkey, I'll be honest. Alright, this was the best fight of the card so far. Slim pickings, I know. Gafarov is a fucking warrior. He put on a crazy pace throughout. Casteneda won the first round despite losing the majority of it by landing a really nasty head kick shot just at the end of the round. Gafarov managed to survive it. This man, I don't know, he dominated the second with a really intense pace. He was swinging wildly and he was landing some brutal leg shots. This man really does mix his weapons pretty well. He did lose a point, which I think shifted the tone of the fight after a clear, like, Zidane World Cup style final headbutt. I did laugh at that one. You can't do that, bro. That made the round a draw for me, but he needed a KO going into the third to win it, and he just ran out of gas. Casteneda landed 2 takedowns, and it was pretty much done. There's a lot of potential here, though. I think Gafarov gets another crack. Shave your back, by the way, G. You can't go on live TV like that. Alright, I described this one in the build-up as 2 polar bears fighting over a fish, and I can be a real poet when I get going. I don't really understand the point of Maze. He looks like he should have KO power. He doesn't. He doesn't have any volume in him either. He can't wrestle. His cardio is fucking dog shit. I don't know how he's here. Trains with John Jones. How is my G this crap then? Anyway, he did manage to catch Arlovski in the second, despite all the shit I just talked. Fairly even up to that point. I got this one wrong. I said it would go the distance, and it looked like it was going to go that way. Decent win against the vet, but you need to be making it easier against Arlovski with the advantages you're supposed to have. Alright, this was mini Olives time, baby. This was the one I was the most confident about. And fight started off with a nut shot for the ages. Shin right to the bollocks. Hearing Bisping try to explain how much a nut shot hurts to Sanko was a personal highlight for me. Santos is so aggressive and I love him for it, but he plays a dangerous game at time. at times, and I'd worry about him against better opponents. Santos was better on the feet generally, and Munoz decided to keep pulling guard when things got hairy. Just dumb. A point deduction in the third was unfortunate for Santos after he hit a second pill shot, but it had no bearing on the contest. This kid is fun. Munoz is basically a jack of no trades. This was easy money. Alright, I called this one pretty much perfectly as well. I said the Santos would win, but possibly get robbed, and it really very nearly happened. Abubakar did look better on the feet in moments than I expected, but he still sucks. Santos had the better moments taken over at the end of the first. He was landing good combinations. He defended the takedowns really well. All Abubakar does, as I said prior to the fight, is hug and pray, and thank God it was not rewarded this time. It ended up being a split decision, but this win made my dick hard. I loved it. The Dagestani Nut Riders are going to have a hard time explaining this one. Alright, this was just a big brothering. Silva dumped her ass down with no resistance, like she was taking a light shot out of the boot, and transitioned into a kind of knee bar. She torqued the leg a little, and Souza's tendon just popped right out. Looked really nasty. She's going to be on the shelf for a while. Seemed like Silva was just playing with a little kid in there. Easy win, nice work, nothing else to say. This girl might actually be a threat at flyweight, actually. Whack division though. Alright, imagine getting married and your new wife gets piped out by your teammate on your wedding night. Anywho, Tim Elliott's record looks fucking disgraceful. But if you just have a look at the list of names he's faced and seen the man fight, you know what a nasty, relentless little cunt he is. Great ground transitioning and scrambling as we have come to expect from him. He came in there like Victor was the one that fucked his wife. This one felt cathartic almost. He did survive a head kick in the second that would have finished a man with an actual brain, but then he just went back to work. Altamirano showed he's gritty, but ultimately was overwhelmed with the takedown and ground and pound game. His takedown defense is a problem in this division. I don't expect him to do much. JP Byers is smiling somewhere. Apparently in the arena. I didn't realize he was there until the very end. That pissed me off. Anyway. Alright, Jesus Christ. This shit was brutal. I reckon Jesse Butler's still asleep now. He probably wishes he hadn't picked the damn phone up as well. It was a textbook slip and power left hook. 23 seconds into the fight. Really nice bounce back for Miller. Enough said, really. Alright, this for me was fight of the night. And what an advert for the sport. There's going to be no quips or taking the piss in this one. This fight was absolutely excellent. Both men went through it on the feet with high accuracy. Cacerez had the better moments in the first. He managed to escape an armbar and that looked like it was really close to ending the fight. The way he set up combos and defended standing and on the ground were just impeccable. This man is so underrated. I'm going to give credit to Pineda as well though. He did rally in the second. He had some excellent control time, but he blew his load trying to finish the fight there and had nothing left for the third. Just as a side note, boxing simps, you need to take a note. The body kicks to the liver that Alex Cacerez hit were a different source, and Pineda managed to stay in there. Fuck you, boxing. Great win for Cacerez, and an incredible technical fight. For MMA purists, go back and watch this one. Alright, this was the one. This was the one. This was clear to me. I don't know what the fuck was going on with some of the Mongoloids watching on Twitter, some of the responses I've been getting. Albazi was in the fight, don't get me wrong, but he did nothing significant whatsoever outside the third round when he nearly caught France in a rear naked choke. This was a robbery in my opinion. I'm not even being salty. This was an absolute disgrace. I did bet on this, I did pick France, but I mean France over doubled him in significant strikes. He dominated 4 of the rounds by having the clearer, crisper strikes, the better moment. This sport just pisses me off, man. Spoiled the card for me. The cheek of this man to call for a belt as well. Fuck's sake. Anyway, I ended the card 9-4, whatever, man. Alright, so my record overall this year is 136-63. Should have been better, but, you know, it is what it is. I landed a retainer win percentage of 68%. I'll be back on Monday to break down the next main event card. Can't remember off the top of my head what it is. I'm pretty sure it's a pay-per-view. Anyway, everyone have a fantastic week. As always, it's great to catch up with everyone. And yeah, I'll see you on Monday. Take it easy.